Hi, this is Sam Miller here with SportsNetworker.com. I'm here with Jeramie McPeek. He's the Vice President of Digital at the Phoenix Suns. Thank you so much for joining me on Skype, Jeramie.
Oh, you bet, Sam. Happy to do.
I guess the first question I have is why, for the Phoenix Suns digital department, it's about a 10-person department, is that right?
Correct. Including myself, we have 9 full-time people.
And why do you think you were the right guy to lead that department?
Good question. I've been with the Suns for 20 years now. I've just finished my 20th season, so I've kind of grown up with the internet. I still remember when the NBA first rolled out NBA.com and told all the teams that we would each have our own portal on the information superhighway. And a lot of us had no idea what they were even talking about at the time. But I was kind of given the reins to that early on, as I also worked on the team magazine at the time, and really have just fallen in love with digital and the internet and web and how it's always evolving. So have kind of been here since the beginning and brought along a team to join me over the last 4 or 5 years, and I think we have a really good team in place.
How are you able to keep up and maybe keep ahead of, all those changes, like you said, in about 20 years?
It's not easy to keep ahead of the curve because especially the last few years, things just change so fast. And there's always some new product or some new service that's come along that we have to try and learn about quickly and determine if it's something that's valuable for us or not. As I mentioned, my team, I think that really helps me and helps us as an organization stay ahead of that curve, that we have a number of guys who are really tech savvy, really creative, really passionate about what we do. And so they're always bringing ideas to the table, and we're always bouncing things off each other. And some guys have strengths in one area, some guys have strengths in another. And it really helps to have that team to work together to kind of figure out what is valuable and what we should be doing right now.
Now, speaking of the team, it seems like, as I look around, whether it's Major League Baseball or the NBA, there are not a lot of big staffs as far as the digital world's concerned. Am I correct in saying Phoenix is unique in that?
Yeah, I would say you are correct in that. We are probably the largest digital staff in the NBA, maybe in all of pro sports. We're very fortunate that we have the support of our upper management who sees the value in digital. But we also oversee a lot more than just the Phoenix Suns digital channels, which I think is a reason our team is so big. We also oversee the Phoenix Mercury of the WNBA, the U.S. Airway Center website and social media channels. We have mobile apps. We run our print publications through my department and help our community relations department, our Phoenix Suns charities. So I think we're probably doing more than most teams with their web departments who maybe only have 2 or 3 people just handling the website. We're doing a lot of different things for the organization, which is a reason our team is so big.
What are your current responsibilities as VP Digital? Are you able to spread those responsibilities out among your team, or is it pretty, what your role is, and other people know what their roles are, and et cetera?
Yeah, everybody in our department has a different role. A lot of guys have similar strengths, so they can kind of complement each other. But we have a couple of writers who are kind of beat writers for the team. We have a couple guys who specialize in video production. One of the writers I mentioned also handles our print publications. Then we have a full-time web designer, sort of our creative specialist. We have a social media specialist who handles, of course, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Instagram, Foursquare, Pinterest, you name it. So he oversees that. We also have a photo archivist who oversees the photo library for the entire organization. And a digital analyst who sort of tracks everything, makes sure that we have all the links going to the right places, all the ads. We're measuring the impressions for our marketing partners. So we have a lot of different strengths in our department, and people all have sort of individual roles. Myself, I sort of lead the team, obviously, and then I have a lot of responsibilities interacting with our different departments, whether that's corporate sponsorships, whether that's ticket sales, whether that's our community relations and public relations, our marketing efforts. So I kind of work with all those departments to figure out how digital can support everything else the organization is doing.
I noticed, like you said, it's kind of been a process. The digital staff's grown around you. Was that, I noticed that the Sun site has received at least two prominent awards from Sports Business Daily and from the NBA. Was that something that the awards came first, and then they're like, wow, we're doing so well, we can expand, or did you do well and then the awards came?
Good question. I think it's a little bit of both. Once we were able to add 2 or 3 people in addition to myself, and we had a team of, I think, 3 full-time people and maybe a part-timer, we were able to do some really creative things back, 7, 8 years ago now, maybe even a little longer. And I think we won a couple of awards at that time from the Sports Business Journal. But I think it was really a matter of kind of showing our upper management that if we added more staff, it was going to help us generate more revenue through those marketing partnerships. A lot of our sponsors are interested, of course, in digital elements now and being a part of our social media channels, being on our website. So being able to add more staff allowed us to create more unique content that was then great inventory for our sponsors. And additionally, by having a full-time designer and an analytic person, that's allowed us to sell more tickets online by developing splash pages and landing pages and ticket information and being able to track it all and figure out where our sales are coming from. So really, I think the awards kind of came because we had some really creative people, and then we were able to add more to help generate revenue for the organization.
Mm-hmm. Now, did the Suns start out with kind of their own company web presence, and then it kind of got more standardized by the NBA, or has it always been kind of a hand-in-hand relationship?
No, it's always been a hand-in-hand relationship. The NBA, as I mentioned earlier, launched NBA.com back in 1995. They supported all the team websites and have ever since. They host our team sites. They provide us statistics, analytics, photos, video highlights, live scoreboards on game nights, as well as a content management system. So they've always been there to support the teams, yet at the same time we have the flexibility and creativity to sort of take what they give us and then take it to the next level and really create the unique content and use those platforms and those channels they provide us to really create something special for our fan base.
On the Sun side, what kind of sets them apart, or what's their strategy as far as social media presence goes?
In the social media space, really our strategy, we've got a lot of strategies, to be honest. I mean, it's really about growing our fan base, engaging with those fans, making them feel important and appreciated by listening to them, interacting with them, following up when they have questions or concerns, addressing those issues. But also we want to entertain fans. We want to inform them about what's going on with the team, provide them with behind-the-scenes content that they can't get from the local newspaper or ESPN.com or NBA.com. They can get that from us by following our channels because we're there. We're in the locker room at times. We're on the team plane. We're at the team hotel at times. We're at training camp. We're able to really provide that inside look into the organization that fans can't get anywhere else. So by doing that through social media and then occasionally peppering in maybe a ticket message or a sponsored piece of content, we're able to generate some revenue too. But again, really it's about connecting with our fans, making them feel special, and giving them something unique through our channels.
It's interesting that you said occasionally peppering in a ticket message or something like that.
Right.
It seems like some of the other teams that I've seen, you see more ads to buy stuff or things like that than you do genuine interactions. I mean, how have you learned that balance of just peppering it in, as you said?
I think we just realize how important it is that the fans are following us because they love the Phoenix Suns. They want to hear from us, but they don't want to necessarily be sold all the time. Social media is different than TV or even the internet, where people expect ads. You expect TV commercials when you're watching a program or a game broadcast. When you're online, you expect banner ads and different ad units and pre-rolls before the videos. In social media, it's really a place for communication. So we try to really respect that, respect our fans, and not just shove messages down their throat to buy tickets or buy this sponsored product. It's got to really be a natural experience when we tie in sponsors. We try to do it in a way that enhances the content that we're providing and brings the partner along as somebody who's helping provide that content to the fans. So it's an added value. And in terms of tickets, we know our fans do love the Phoenix Suns and hope that they would be interested in coming out to our next game, and so we try to throw out some ticket offers from time to time, whether it's a special offer or letting them know about a new 11-game pack or 22-game pack that's gone on sale. But again, we try to do that sparingly and just once in a while, so that fans feel like they're really getting value out of our channels, and they're following us because they love us, again, not because they want to be sold to all the time.
I noticed on the Facebook page, there's a real effort to say, like this, in all caps, do you like this, and that sort of thing. Have you gotten a response, better, more likes by doing that? I've heard that there's a strategy to, tell the people what to do so that they'll do it.
Absolutely. We were fortunate enough to hire a social media specialist just about a year ago. Greg Esposito is his name. His Twitter name is @Espo, and he's fantastic with our Facebook page and our Twitter account. He's always coming up with creative content ideas, and really on Facebook there is a strategy for us to not only put the content out there, but try to get fans to interact back with us. So with every single post we put up, we always include a photo, first of all, a photo or a video, so there's some sort of visual element with the content. We keep the status updates short and sweet, and then we always include some sort of call to action, whether it's click like if you're excited about tonight's game, or let us know what you think about this new player we just signed, leave your comments below. So we always include that call to action so that fans don't just see it and keep going, but they think, oh yeah, I want to click like, I want to leave a comment, I want to let you know what we think. And that really has increased our interaction over the last year or so since he joined our team.
You mentioned listening to fans. How do you know how to listen and you got to prioritize, and how do you know how to listen the right way, so to speak?
Good question. Obviously, it's tough in the social media space when fans can tweet you or leave a comment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every week of the year, they're there leaving comments. So we can't be glued to the computer, obviously. But as I mentioned, Greg Esposito, he's on 40 to 50, sometimes 60 hours a week on all of our channels, just constantly monitoring what's coming in, not only pushing out great content, but really seeing what fans are saying as well. I also spend quite a bit of time on social media, taking a look at what our fans are saying. And we have more than 40 employees who serve as social media ambassadors, and 40 people who are in the organization who are on Twitter tweeting about our jobs and giving fans a behind-the-scenes look. So we have a lot of different people keeping an eye on what the fan base is saying, and we try to respond to fans as quickly as we can if they have a question, a concern. If they just want to compliment the Phoenix Suns, we try to thank them for their support. If they tweet out a great picture from a game or a picture of their child wearing a Suns uniform, we'll try to retweet that and share it with other fans. So we just try to let fans know that we do hear what they're saying. We do appreciate their feedback and their comments and their support as Phoenix Suns fans.
Let's see what else. I've seen that you're a sought-out conference speaker. Why do you think that is? What message you frequently bring to the people you're presenting to, that sort of thing?
I have been fortunate enough to be asked to speak at a number of events over the last 3 or 4 years. I think the fact that the Phoenix Suns were kind of one of the early adopters in the social media space was a reason early on that I was asked to speak at a number of conferences. And hopefully I've done a good job at those, and so I've been asked to return to other events that those companies or brands are putting on. But I think that, again, it comes down to the fact that we've kind of been early adopters. We've been aggressive in the space. We're always trying to come up with new ways to use social media to connect with fans and grow our fan base. That's probably the biggest reason that I've been asked to speak. And really, when I'm there, I really try to share a case study of what we've done here at the Phoenix Suns, use a number of different creative ideas, not only of things that we're doing, but that we've seen other teams in the NBA or in pro sports doing, things that other pro athletes are doing. And just try to share those ideas and examples to brands that maybe are a little bit different or haven't thought about some of the things that we've come up with or been maybe in some of the same experiences. So really it's an effort to share what we're doing and give some tips for how to use social media for their own brands.
What are some of the biggest skills that you use?
Skills that I use personally?
Yeah.
Wow. I've got a sports journalism background. I wanted to be a sports writer. coming out of college. So I think that probably has helped me quite a bit in terms of just being able to write good articles, know what fans are looking for online, and from a sports perspective. Obviously, I grew up a sports fan. I grew up a Phoenix Suns fan, so that probably helps a lot. And I think I probably am blessed to, I guess, have some creativity and am always trying to think outside the box and think of a new way to do things. That's probably one of my biggest strengths, I would say. I don't know that it's a skill, but it's probably a strength that I have, that I'm always looking for new ways to do things and new ways to connect with fans, because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of sports. I'm a fan of movies. I'm a fan of the WWE. I'm a fan of Star Wars. So, I love these big brands that people can connect to, and I'm a passionate fan, and I know the fans of the Phoenix Suns are as well. So I try to bring them something that I know that they're going to enjoy.
You're an editor at large with Hoop magazine. What advice do you have about maybe, for example, I mean, a lot of us are freelancers. What advice do you have about working multiple jobs that maybe complement each other, build on skill sets, that sort of thing, so that one way or another we can live the sports dream?
Wow. Advice. That's a good question. I was very fortunate, again, very blessed to have the opportunity to connect with actually the editors of Slam magazine back in 1995 when the All-Star game was here in Phoenix. Slam magazine was brand new. It had only been on the newsstands probably for 2 months, and I loved the style of the magazine. I thought it was really unique, different from other sports magazines out there. So I introduced myself to the editors when they were here in Phoenix for the All-Star game and said that I love your magazine. I would love to do some writing for you. And if ever you could use a freelancer. And, I was fortunate enough that they gave me a small 200-word article to write for an upcoming issue. I think I did a good job with it. And I kind of just built up a good reputation and relationship with those guys. And eventually the top 2 editors of Slam left and went to work for Hoop magazine and Inside Stuff. So I kind of followed them back in 2000, and I've been writing for Hoop ever since. I guess the biggest thing I would say is, it's tough, obviously, to do additional freelance work outside of my full-time job. But there is some similarities in that it is basketball. I am covering the sport. And again, it's something I'm passionate about. So I would say pursue those opportunities. If you're a freelance writer and you want to get more writing experience, pursue those magazines or newspapers or websites that you really love and you follow and have a lot of passion for, because I think that will shine through when you are sort of presenting yourself and pitching your ideas to the editors for what you would like to contribute.
Okay, and a couple last questions. I know you said that you don't have much of an off season, but for a fan's off season, obviously one of the big stories is Steve Nash. How do you go about transitioning from, I guess, the Steve Nash era?
That will be difficult, I'm sure. Obviously, fans have fallen in love with Steve. He's been here for 8 seasons, 10 if you include the first 2 when we drafted him back in 1996. So he's probably one of, if not the best player in Phoenix Suns history. So it's definitely going to be hard moving on without him. But I also think fans realize that, he's going to be 39 this season. He's probably only got a couple years left in his NBA career. Hopefully they're great years for him with the Lakers. Obviously the Lakers are hated rivals, and I'd hate to see them win a championship, but for his sake, I'm going to be cheering for him, even if he is wearing a Lakers uniform. But I think for Phoenix Suns fans, we've made a lot of moves this offseason, and a lot of exciting moves. We brought in some really young, athletic, talented guys. We brought Goran Dragic back, who was spent the first couple years of his career here in Phoenix, and Phoenix fans know him and really loved him when he was here. So excited to see him back, and hopefully he kind of takes that next step in his own NBA career. We've added Michael Beasley, who's an incredibly athletic guy. Obviously, he's had some off-court troubles early on in his career, but hopefully he gets a chance to really mature and grow and develop into that player that everybody thought he could be when he was drafted pretty high in the NBA. We've added Wesley Johnson, another young player who's was drafted, I think, second overall in his NBA draft, and he's got a chance to really shine here. So, I think our Phoenix fans, although it's going to be different, although we don't have Steve Nash or Grant Hill anymore, I think fans have a lot to be excited about, and they can kind of jump on early this group of young guys and kind of grow with them and follow them as we start out and see where we are 2 or 3 years from now as this crew kind of blends together and grows up together in the NBA.